Oh, the singing stopped. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to Financial Friday. Appreciate you joining me for this weekly update. I have been MIA the last couple of weeks, was doing some traveling with family and did a spring break trip to Vegas and then did a weekend getaway with my wife to Tahoe. It's her birthday next week and our anniversary. So 24 years, 1 year away from the big 25. Super excited to I don't know. Well, first of all, super excited to be married to my wife for the last 24 years, and super excited to tell all of you about it. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in to what we're going to talk about today. Again, this is Financial Friday every week, except when I'm traveling. We present a financial topic to you to help guide you through really the financial world, the real estate world, and the mortgage world. And so today's topic is on really a little bit of a spin. I'm calling it a Dream for All alternative. Now, yes, I'm jumping in on the hype of the Dream for All and using that as a mechanism to discuss some other programs. But the truth is there's a lot of value in these assistance programs that are because that money disappeared like that. And I expected to be more money. If you didn't see my video, I did a video yesterday. So today is the 21st. If you're watching this recorded, on April 20th, I posted a video on is the Dream for All money coming back this summer or not? There's a good chance we're going to see it back sometime in the next 12 months. Actually, I wholly expect us to see it back. The question is, do you wait? And that's part of what this series is about. I'm going to be going through over the next few weeks different programs. Next week, I'm going to talk about the WISH program. Super excited about that one. And the coolest thing about the WISH program is we can layer it with some of the programs we're talking about right here. So it's ways to stack or to layer down payment assistance. And I'm super excited to talk to you about that. Today, what we're going to talk about is the GSFA Platinum program. So GSFA is the Golden State Finance Authority. And they're a nonprofit organization. Actually, maybe they are a for-profit. Anyway, they're an organization. They're actually not related to the state of California. Unlike Cal HFA, which is the California Housing Finance Agency, the GSFA is a separate agency. Cal HFA is a division, a department of the state government. So they look the same, they sound the same, they act the same, but they are not the same. GSFA has two programs. It has the Open Door program and it has the Platinum program. Now, down the road, I'll talk more about the Open Door program. What I'll tell you right now is the Open Door has closed temporarily, kind of like the Dream for All program, but for a whole different reason. The Open Door program is more forgiving than the Platinum program, has some benefits at lower credit scores, but the rates were higher. And in the current rate environment, the Open Door program, the pricing doesn't work. The model doesn't work when it comes to, hey, we got to bump the interest rate some in order to give the benefits of the Open Door program, but no lenders are willing to actually buy loans at those higher rates, and therefore the rate doesn't exist. Therefore, the program doesn't exist, so the Open Door has closed. But the Platinum program is more in line with market interest rates, which is super good. A little bit higher than market rates, and I'll explain that to you in a couple of minutes. But the Platinum program specifically has some really, really good benefits that are very, very different than Dream for All and very, very different than the Cal HFA programs in general. So I want to explain some of those differences on how is the Platinum program different than Dream for All. Well, first of all, you don't have to give up any of your equity. Like, you are buying the home and you get 100% of the equity when you sell the home. Now, I'm not saying it was a bad idea to do Dream for All where you only got 80% of the equity because you only made a payment on 80% of the home. Well, in this case, You're making a payment on 96.5 or 97% of the loan. But the nice thing is that this program actually allows for FHA, it allows for VA, it allows for USDA. And what's kind of interesting is it only allows for Freddie Mac, not Fannie Mae. So if you recall, if you've been following me at all and you saw the guidelines on the Dream for All program, it said, hey, you've got to meet Fannie Mae's guidelines. Couldn't use Freddie Mac, couldn't use FHA, couldn't use VA or USDA. Well, the Platinum program does everything that the Dream for All program doesn't when it comes to programs. So that's a really big difference because it's more forgiving on credit score. It'll go down to a 640 credit score. It'll be more forgiving on some of your late payments, not late payments necessarily, but on your bankruptcy or foreclosure timelines, because FHA is more forgiving on some of those things. So there's a lot more flexibility when it comes to qualifying, and you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. Yeah, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. As a matter of fact, you can own another home and still use this program. You could own a home, you could convert that home to a rental and still buy a home using this program because you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. Yeah, you heard that right. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer. It's a great option for someone who has owned a home sometime in the last 3 years and they said, oh my gosh, John, I don't qualify for any down payment assistance options. Well, that's not true, because you can utilize the down payment assistance through the Platinum program. They don't care that you're a first-time home buyer or not. You also have the ability with this program to use cosigners. The Dream for All program didn't let you. It said, hey, only the person who's living in the home can be on the loan, and everybody on the loan has to be a first-time home buyer. Well, this one says, no problem. We can do a cosigner, no problem at all. As a matter of fact, you can also do multifamily properties with this program. That means that you can do a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. The Dream for All program is limited to single-family homes, townhomes, and condos. The Platinum program does all of those, but it does more. So think about being able to buy your first home. I'm saying first home, it doesn't have to be your first home, but buying a home, and it has to be owner occupied. So let me make that super clear. If you're buying any home using this program, it has to be owner occupied. So you say, well, John, how does that work if I'm buying a multifamily property? Because as long as you're living in one of the units, it's owner occupied. You could buy a 4-unit property. Yes, a 4-unit property, and you are able to put as little as 5% down, and you can get up to 5% in down payment assistance. So it's a great program that honestly covers everything that Dream for All is not. So it's really a good fit when somebody says, not only did I miss out on the timing of Dream for All, I missed out on the qualifications. I'm trying to buy something different than what Dream for All would allow. This covers almost everything else that the Dream for All program doesn't cover. So it's really, really valuable. It does have income limits, but the income limits, there are no income limits if you're doing, now I just drew a blank, it's either FHA or conventional. Sorry, drew a blank on that. I'll get back to you later if I remember. But the point is, let's pretend you're over the income limit. I can just switch you to the alternative. So gosh, I'm drawing a total blank and I rarely do this, so I'm just gonna move on. But the fact is that there's an option to proceed without regard to income. If you happen to exceed the income limit, I still can't remember which one it is. Anyway, one of them has an income limit, Platinum, I'm saying. Within Platinum, you have the option of going FHA or Freddie Mac. One has an income limit and one doesn't. So if you exceed an income limit, it doesn't matter. I can just flip it to the other way and still proceed without exceeding income limits. By the way, I know there's about 10 people that are watching live right now. If you're watching live, put your comments into the comment section of whatever stream you're watching, whatever platform you're watching. I'll be able to see those and reply. If you're watching recorded, thank you so much. Please put your comments in there as well, and I'll catch those typically within 24 hours and give you any answers to your questions. But I want to keep this as interactive as we possibly can. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to what are the benefits of this program. So let's talk specifically, what are the benefits to the Platinum program? It is up to a 5% assistance and it is tied to what interest rate you choose. So you've heard me, if you've listened to me at all, talk about down payment assistance. In every one of my videos, I say no assistance program is free. No assistance program is free. There's one exception, and that's the WISH program that I'm going to talk about next week. So if you're listening now, you want to join me on Friday the 28th at 12 noon, because I'm going to be talking about the WISH program and you're not going to want to miss it. That one is free, okay? There's no cost to it at all. It's a really, really good program, but there's really strict qualification rules. The Platinum program has super liberal qualification rules, but guess what? You're paying for the money you're getting, even the money you get as a grant if you qualify for a grant, and there is a grant component to this. So you can get up to 5% to go towards down payments and towards closing costs. Now, most down payment assistance programs are going to have higher closing costs, sometimes upwards of 2 points in origination fee. And the other thing is that your money can go towards both the down payment and the closing costs. The assistance can. You can use your own money to cover the remaining closing costs. You can use a gift from family, or you can use a seller credit. So you have a lot of flexibility there in how you use the money. The other thing that's a huge benefit about this program is that there's 2 other categories of assistance. So you got their standard program, you have their select program, and then we have the assist to own program. The standard program is everybody gets it. It's the same thing. You get a second mortgage, and the second mortgage you do make payments on. You pay interest at the same interest rate as your first mortgage, and you're paying the second over a 15-year term. So it is I call that a negative. So let's go to negatives of the program. You have to make a payment on the second mortgage when you have a second mortgage, and you'll always have a second mortgage on this. The question is, I guess I should reclassify that. If you are on the standard program, the entire amount of assistance is going to be provided to you as a loan, and you are making a payment on that loan every single month. Okay. Now that's kind of a good thing, because it means you're paying down your balance and that you're not going to be stuck with money owed down the road when you finish paying off the primary mortgage. So in a way, that can be considered a good thing. Thanks, Juan, for the thumbs up, actually, for the heart. Appreciate it. So that you have to make a payment on the standard. The next option is the select. I'll talk more about the select in a couple of minutes. The select program provides you with a 3 or 3.5% loan, depending upon whether you're doing FHA or conventional, and then up to a total of 5%. The remaining 1 or 1.5%, 2% is a grant. You don't have to pay back that grant. Now, there are particular industries that you have to work in order to qualify for the select program. I'll cover those industries in a couple of minutes. Then the third tier is the assist to own. Now, the assist to own says you get the same amount of assistance, the up to 5% of assistance. The first component of it, the 3.5%, depending upon whether you're doing conventional or FHA, is provided as a loan, but it's interest-free with no monthly payments. You heard me right, interest-free with no monthly payments. So that's the select option. And then the remainder, up to 5%, is a grant. This is the assist to own. The first part of the assistance on the assist to own is a loan, but no interest and no monthly payments. You just pay back the exact balance you got down the road. And the second component of the assist to own is a grant, just like the select program. Okay, so true negatives about this program: you're going to have a higher monthly payment than you were going to have on Dream for All. So if you're approved on Dream for All and you say, you know what, John, I want to go to this program, well, for the same monthly payment, you got to buy at a lower purchase price, because, well, you're making a payment on 95, 97% of the purchase price, and you have mortgage insurance. Unlike Dream for All, where you don't have mortgage insurance because you're putting 20% down. So aside from that, the truth is this is a very, very good program. The interest rates on this program historically have been higher than CalHFA's interest rates. So if we compare apples to apples, if you're on the standard program for Platinum, meaning you don't work in a particular industry, you don't work for a particular government entity, I'll cover what those particular occupations are in a couple of minutes. If you aren't in one of those occupations, your you're going to have a lower monthly payment going with Cal HAFA and their My Home product. I'm going to talk about that in depth in a couple of weeks. So you'll hear about Cal HAFA and its My Home product. It is different than the Dream for All program, and I'll explain that later. But the fact is that the Platinum program has a higher interest rate. But guess what? You're actually making payments on your second mortgage and you're paying it down. But most importantly is if you're in one of the key occupations, you get grant money and you may not even have to make payments on your second mortgage. So that's where this fits in appropriately depending upon your circumstances. And really, it's about finding your exact qualifications. What do you need as far as your income, your debt ratio, your credit history? Are you a first-time home buyer? All of that kind of stuff. So let's go through a couple of things. First of all, do I have to make payments on the assistance money? I covered that. Yes, you do, unless you are in the assist to own category, and I'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Do I have to be a first-time home buyer? No, you do not. Under no circumstances does anybody have to be a first-time home buyer on this program. So there's a really, really good way to make this work. All right, so let's talk about the Select and the Assist to Own programs. So let's go to who qualifies for the Select program. And let me pull this up right now. And what we're going to see, oops, I think Anna and I both did that at the same time. Thank you, Anna. All right, so here's the deal with the Select program. The borrowers, one borrower on the loan application must be employed in one of the following occupations to qualify for the Select option. And I'll cover the benefits of Select again in a moment. You must be in the medical field, which is a medical or healthcare worker, or in law enforcement, peace officer, sheriff, border patrol agent, correctional officer, and others serving in a law enforcement capacity. You also might be eligible, you would be eligible if you were in the fire occupation. So firefighters, CAL FIRE, paramedics, EMTs, including administrative staff that supports the firefighters. And finally, education. So anybody who's a current member of Cal STRS or the University of California retirement plan, employees of accredited private or charter or public school district or California State University junior college or private college, including school administration and staff. So let me explain to you a little bit more detail about what this means. Let's put this in a little bit better so you can see it a little better. Okay, cool. So medical, we're talking about anybody in any capacity that is working in the medical field, pretty self-explanatory, and that covers a lot of people. Healthcare, medical, dental, EMTs, that kind of thing. Law enforcement is self-explanatory. Fire, obviously, also self-explanatory. It looks like a question here I'll pull up. Education is the piece I want to clarify. Education, you don't just have to be a current employee of a school. If you are a member of STRS or of a University of California retirement plan. Now, the way I read that, that means if you're a retiree, you are a member, therefore you qualify. So that is an extra benefit. All right. So Juan said, do Cal PERS employees count? So Cal PERS does not, because at least, well, let me be clear. If you are in education, then they're saying you either work for a school or you're a member of Cal STRS. Cal PERS, if you are, and I don't know enough about whether any educators would be also a member of Cal PERS. Most educators that I know are part of Cal STRS. So this program, this particular program, you might be a firefighter working for Cal FIRE, which means I would expect if you're a firefighter working for Cal FIRE that you are part of Cal PERS. Now, just because Cal PERS isn't on the list under education, you notice that it's or. So as long as you're in the fire industry, you're fine. As long as you are an educator, then you're fine. And so Juan also said, what about the Stanislaus Office of Education? So my understanding is that if you're working for the district, and so it says right here, charter or public school district or state university, junior college or private college, including administration and staff. So I would say that the Stanislaus Office of Education is part of the district. That's how I would look at it. But here's what happens. What happens is when you apply for the loan and I lock your loan, we send your pay stub to the GSFA people, into GSFA. They will review and confirm that you are in an eligible occupation. Now, I've never actually tried to send it to them before we're locking a loan, but I'm pretty sure they would allow me to email it in and confirm. So if you're working for a county administrative, hey, I'm working for the county. I'm a county employee. I don't work for the school district. That may be a unique situation, but maybe, just maybe, you're going to be covered through the assist to own, which is actually even better than the select program. And I'll cover the benefits of the assist to own I'll cover that once I talk about what are the benefits of the select program. So if you are in one of those categories that we just talked about, so if you are in medical, if you are in fire, if you are in education or law enforcement, then your benefits are, Bob, tell them what they've won. You've won instead of getting the entire amount of assistance as a loan, a smaller amount of the assistance is a loan, and a portion of the assistance is a grant. So you never have to make payments on that portion. You never have to pay back that portion. So you're getting free grant money because of the industry that you are working in. It's an amazing benefit that, especially if you're comparing this to maybe the CalHFA My Home, CalHFA doesn't give you any free money. So this one gives you some free money because of the industry that you are in. All right, now let's talk about the assist to own. So let's talk about who qualifies for the assist to own. Anna, go ahead and pull that up for me. The assist to own program is designed for people who are county employees of any of the following counties. Now, Juan, you asked about Stanislaus County, and Stanislaus is not on the list. I have no idea how they came up with this list. Okay, hopefully I can make this a little bit smaller. You can still see it and be next to me. Yeah, cool. All right. So this is GSFA has some arrangement, has some reason why they've selected specific counties. And so if you are a current employee of one of these counties, anywhere across the state, if you're an employee of one of these counties, then you qualify for the assist to own option. Bob, tell them what they've won through the assist to own option. Well, let me tell you, John, the assist to own option is the same benefit as select. So you get, instead of all of your money as a loan, some of it's a loan and some of it's a grant. But on top of that, John, they're also going to be able to take home no monthly payments on their second mortgage. So when you take the assistance through the assist to own, if you are an employee, if anyone on the loan is an employee of one of those counties, you never make a monthly payment on the loan. You're only paying back the balance that you owed, the second mortgage, the assistance portion, the loan portion of the assistance, you're never making a monthly payment on, and you still get the benefit that the select program does, where you get the grant component. So you have part of it is a loan, part of it's a grant, but on the assist to own, you make no payments and you're charged no interest on the money that you are getting for the loan. So let's go ahead and bring back up, Anna, can you bring back up that slide again, just so we can see who the people are, what counties, so that everybody can see that one more time. So here's the counties. Again, I'm not going to read through them. They're in alphabetical order. Take a screenshot, watch the recording and rewind and pause, whatever you need to do. But if you are an employee of any of these counties, then you would be able to take advantage. If you know somebody who's an employee of any of these counties, they can also take advantage of this program. And one of the things that I think people misunderstand is I think people look at some of these down payment assistance programs as, well, I only need to do it if I don't have enough money for my own down payment. And that's just not true. Sometimes it makes sense to do these programs because maybe you have 10% for your own down payment. I can layer this on top and use this assistance money to pay all your closing costs and use it to prepay your mortgage insurance. So maybe you want to buy out of your mortgage insurance as a one-time fee. So there are times, remember, nothing is free money. Nothing is free money. But man, if I was an employee of one of those counties and I was buying a home putting less than 20% down, I would consider this program because I get a zero interest loan combined with grant money that I don't have to pay back later. And I can use, even though I'm paying a little bit higher closing costs, I can use that money to pay some of those closing costs and buy out of my mortgage insurance and owe less money on the mortgage down the road. So it's a win-win in all of the areas. So it really comes down to having a one-on-one consultation with me to figure out what's my best option. What is the best way to layer these programs together to help me be able to get the best amount of qualification that I can get? Now, I want to give you guys a couple of sneak peeks into what I'm talking about next week. And then I'm going to get into some cool features of this program and make sure I recap those. So one of the cool things about the WISH program that I'm talking about next week is it is also a grant, and it doesn't matter what industry you're working in. Now, the income limits are significantly lower, but the nice thing is the income limits are tiered based upon your family size. And so for a lot of people, that helps us be able to fit them into qualifying because, hey, maybe in my county, the income limit is $80,000, but actually I've got 5 people living in my household or 7 people living in my household, which means I can make up to $100,000 in my county and qualify because I have a larger household size. So this is a completely different program that I'm talking about next week. That's the WISH program, but it's something that you want to know about because we can use that to layer with these other programs. Whether I'm layering it with, when Dream for All comes back, I could layer it Dream for All and use it to pay your closing costs. I could layer it with this Platinum program. I can layer it with the Cal Half of My Home program, or I can just do a regular loan for you without any extra down payment assistance and just have this be your component. And here's the coolest thing about it. It's a matching program that goes up to about $29,000 that they'll give you for free. That is a grant. You just have to keep your home for 5 years. So this is part of the WISH program. I'll talk to you more about it later. But if you have only $5,000 to buy a home, you can put your $5,000 in. The WISH program matches 4 times that. They give you 20 grand. So you only needed $5,000 and you get a total of $25,000 to cover between down payment and closing costs. I am super excited about the WISH program, and I want to explain that to you more in detail next week. But let's stop talking about our sneak peek for next week, and let's talk more about some of the other cool features of the Platinum program that we're talking about today. So first of all, and I've talked about some of these things, but I want to make sure I cover all of them. Cosigners are okay. That's a really big deal because on all of these other programs, you can't have a cosigner. If your income isn't enough to pay for the house, if the occupants don't make enough money to pay for the house, you can't use down payment assistance. Until now you have the ability to use down payment assistance. You can own another home. Like seriously, most people, not only do they think you have to be a first-time home buyer, which you don't, but you can own another home and they are okay with that. So there's a lot of flexibility here. You can do FHA, VA, USDA, and Freddie Mac, just no Fannie Mae. I talked earlier about 1 to 4 unit properties. That's a big one. I would normally say if somebody's talking about down payment assistance and they say, hey, I'm thinking about a duplex, it's not an option. Now it is. We've got a lot more flexibility with this program. Here's the other cool thing. It's fast because there's no additional layer of review. My company reviews it. We issue the funds. We don't. Now, if you're a first-time home buyer, you do need to do home buyer education. But if you're not a first-time home buyer, you don't have to do home buyer education. So it's kind of relieves us of all of the challenges we've been hearing about with Dream for All, because in a lot of cases, you don't have to have education and we don't have to wait for GSFA to approve it. It's approved based on my company approving it. We never have to send it to them. So it's a faster loan process than any of the Cal HAFA loans. And if you're under 80% of the area median income, we can layer in WISH funds. So it is a really, really flexible program that has a lot of cool features. So I'm going to wrap up here in the next couple of minutes and say, what are the next steps? Well, the next steps are to reach out to me and talk about getting pre-approved. So I actually left, oh, thanks, Anna. You put some of my information on the top. Go to johnloanking.com and you can click on the Apply Now button. You can also download my mobile app that has a great mortgage payment calculator in there. And aside from that, it's really about getting started early. Don't wait until the day you're ready to write an offer or a couple of days before you're ready to write an offer. Get started early in talking to me about, John, what are my options? Should I wait for Dream for All or shouldn't I? But there's some things that come up in your income history that you may think, oh my gosh, everything is fine. I make really, really good money. But the flip side of that is maybe it's a little bit more complicated and might take a couple of days to a week for us to gather all the paperwork we need from your employer to prove your income. And if you come to me the day before you want to write an offer and you say, John, can you please have this approval letter for me tomorrow? Well, there's a good chance that may not happen as quickly as you'd like. So it's never too soon to talk to your lender. By the way, I'm your lender. So it's never too soon to talk to me. Reach out, give us a call, and make sure that you ask questions early, because I don't bite. I will make sure that I take good care of you. So guys, I'm pretty much done. I want to open it up to any questions for the 7 or 8 people that are still watching live. I'm going to encourage people who are watching recorded that please post your questions into whatever platform you're watching this on. Jody says, when is the WISH program available? That is a great question, Jody. The WISH program is officially available now. I'm finalizing some of the details on it so that I can present it next week. But if you have interest in it, I'd love to talk to you about it. So give my office a call, give me a call. We can talk through what it looks like for you and how to make it work. The WISH program officially launched April 1st. It is first come, first serve. The money typically lasts about 6 months. And so we definitely don't want to wait. So if you're interested, it's why I'm talking about it now, even though I'm not ready to do my full presentation on it. But next Friday, I'll give the full presentation. But Jody, if you or anybody else has any questions or thinks the WISH program is a good option, please reach out and I'll be here to help guide you. And I have all the guidelines now, so I can get you approved and out shopping for a WISH loan immediately. All right, I don't see any other questions. If you have any, you got about 10 seconds left to type it in. Otherwise, follow up with me, put it in chat on whatever platform you're on, and I'll fill you in later and give you a response there. So thanks everybody for listening. Hope you have an amazing weekend, and happy 24th anniversary to me and my wife. See y'all later. Bye-bye.